Very good afternoon to all of you. It's always an enviable task. Normally, a session before lunch is enviable. End of the day is more enviable. And after 2 long days, the very last session probably is the most unenviable, role to play. And I think you should give some type of applause to all the 5 of us for taking the last session after 2 days and trying to keep you all, with a lot of energy. In fact, delight through digitalization is what I thought is important. Today, these cannot be differentiated. Anything that we do will have to be cognizant of the fact that it has to delight the stakeholders. And digitalization cannot be a technology word and can say, okay, fine, we are implementing this technology and therefore it will satisfy everyone's problem. We should first think, when we buy a car, we don't look at what is under the hood, we don't see what engine it uses, but then we feel, when I drive this car, this BMW is good, this Mercedes is good, this Honda is good. That's the way we do. So similarly, the delight of the stakeholders is what I feel should be on top of anybody's mind when we implement any solution. In that context, I was just triggered by, in the panel discussion, I saw Shri Devanath of Chris. He had specified that railways are users and OEMs and vendors provide solution which they have for a generic solution, and we try to use that and make it effective for us. Actually, that was a statement which impacted me when I was sitting there, primarily because that puts a lot of responsibility on us who are actually not in railways, but then we participate in the success of any of these implementations. And so I found that that is something which is key. I mean, we have our partners like IBM, the Maximo asset management software providers. We partner with them and we provide solutions for all clients and railways and metros in particular. But then we cannot just say it's a technology that will give you, we don't know how it's going to work, we'll give it to you. No, we will have to understand why you're using it, where you're using it, for what it is. And of course, we know that we are using it for 360-degree stakeholder delight. And I'm saying that whether it's your vendors from the project stage to when the the rakes run on the tracks, it is right through the period when the project is going on, how the assets have to be managed, and then through the operations and maintenance. So in that context, if you look at it, it is our immense responsibility to do it. And in fact, he said that IoTs must integrate at many times with the legacy infrastructure. In fact, many times you already have something which is good and running, and it's important that somebody cannot say, you throw all of that and I'll come and give you something new. We have to integrate it with that. And so the solution that we build will always have to look at how we can integrate in with a backward integration option. So in that context, I feel that innovation to the specific needs of not just railways, to the specific area where we are addressing within railways, has to be understood by us. And that is where we come. In fact, I was generally looking at all these stalls from here, and I find that almost every stall, no stall is going to be without an IT component within it. Today, none of us move around without that one solid high-impact device called the mobile, smartphone. So it is all pervasive. So we cannot treat something as a separate entity. We are well integrated with the core aspects of what a railway or metro is. And I always believe that we are well past the time when commute, transportation is the objective of railways. 30-40 years back, there will be a train which moves, a local, electric train or something. People will just get in, there will be wooden seats, whatever it is, 40 years back. But gradually it moved even to the normal trains. Today, even a 3-tier, we look for air conditioning. We don't want to travel without AC. So the delight part of it has always been, getting into the system. But today when it comes to metros, it is planned with delight. Features included, delight features. You want everything from the time you leave home to the time you get into the station to the time you get out and the last mile at the other end. It is not, you cannot say you somehow come and get in. So people are thinking about the last miles as well. Why I'm saying that is, the portion that we do, we have been involved for a very long time in our life in that. Why I'm saying that is, when I was looking at this third annual conclave, I thought that number 3 was striking a chord with me. I just thought I will put in a small thing which will probably remain in your minds. Bahwan CyberTek is normally known as BCT. Okay, we have been in this space for a long time, for almost 15, 17 years. And IBM is the other 3-letter word. So we have combined with them and we have been providing solutions. But how did it all start? We have been with IBM for the last almost about 12 years. But much prior to that, maybe around 2006 or 7, we were partnering a company called MRO. MRO is simply maintenance, repairs, and operations. That company was called MRO, and that was the time when we were associated with them. And then when IBM took over, that transformed into what is called Maximo. And today, what we see as Maximo is not what was there 12 years back. It's incorporated such phenomenal features. So why I'm saying that is, we have traveled through this asset management IT journey for the last about 15 years. And so we know quite a bit of it, and we've been working in both in the Far East and the Middle East, and now in India, in Mumbai Metro, implementing the same solution. But it's not just that we are implementing that solution in isolation. We have been trying to understand with our internal domain expertise as well as to how we can understand the real requirement of all stakeholders. When I'm saying that, today a simple thing is asset is not just a bill of quantity. It involves quite a few things. It involves what you call how energy management can be done. Because peak travel will be very different. You will be planning something like, okay, this is the time when you will require more air conditioning. Probably later in the evening you will not require air conditioning. Let me say, nights you don't require. But imagine in Mumbai, next to Wankhede Stadium, there's that night, there's a T20 match which is over at about 12 o'clock. See the type of crowd which will get into the station. And that has to be automatically managed and automatically, controlled. So why I'm saying that is, it involves, it cannot be very done in isolation, but it has to be done, the asset management that we do, we understand as to how it's going to help in the core area, not just as a technology area. That is where BCT, IBM or anybody comes into picture. And so we have actually, beyond that, where we add value is, we have certain integration solutions, a product called, a predictive analytics solution called Retina, which tags along very well with Maximo. Then we have a digital experience platform which would make people express their feelings of whether they're happy or not, what they require on spot. So all these things, when it gets integrated, what you get is a very effective and well aligned solution for the particular requirement. And in metros, because of our probably around 12 to 15 years of experience, we have been able to understand the requirement and respond very well. And what can I say? Yeah, so I was wanting to convey this to all of you and say that, okay, we understand this space very well and we will be in a position to relate very well and give the solutions which will match your actual expectation. But and on behalf of all of them, I would say that you've been a very patient audience after 2 days. And so I'll again use one more 3 letters. Thanks a lot.